In today's video, I'll give you the all-in-one settings guide for Bloodstrike. Whether you're a PC player or a mobile gamer, this video is for you. I'll break down every single setting in the game, explain what they do, and show you how to customize them for the best performance. First, I'll cover the settings for PC users, and after that, we'll dive into the mobile settings. If you're here for mobile settings, you can skip ahead to the timestamp shown on the screen. No more guessing or randomly tweaking settings without knowing their purpose. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what every setting does and how to adjust them to suit your gameplay style. Let's start with PC settings. Head over to the Settings tab. The first option we have is Auto Sprint. So, what does this setting do? Basically, it allows you to sprint automatically by just holding the W key, no need to press the Shift key. Now, I recommend that all of you turn this setting on because it makes movement so much easier. But wait, I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, this setting doesn't even work like that. And you're absolutely right. Here's the deal, this feature was originally designed to work exactly as I just explained. However, for some reason, it doesn't function properly on PC. Why? Because, let's be honest, the developers don't seem to care much about PC players, so they've never bothered to fix it. Even though the setting doesn't fully work as intended, I still suggest turning it on because it just feels better. Plus, if you hover your cursor over the little question mark icon, you'll see it clearly says, hold forward to auto sprint. So yeah, the setting was designed with good intentions, it's just poorly implemented. Go ahead and turn it on. Alright, let's move on to the next setting, Crouch Mode. This setting lets you decide how crouching works. If you set it to hold, you'll need to hold down the crouch key to stay crouched. On the other hand, if you set it to tap, you just press the key once to crouch, and you'll stay crouched until you press the key again. Now, my suggestion? Leave this setting on hold. Why? Because it helps with smoother movement during intense fights. For example, if you're slide jumping in the middle of a gunfight, this prevents you from accidentally crouching and messing up your movement. It's a small tweak that makes a big difference in gameplay. Next up is Sprinting Interrupts Inspection. When this setting is turned on, sprinting while inspecting a weapon will cancel the inspection and start sprinting immediately. If it's set to off, you won't sprint until the inspection animation is finished. My advice? Turn this setting on so that inspecting doesn't slow you down. You don't want to get caught staring at your gun when you should be running. Now let's talk about Sprinting Interrupts Reloading. If this setting is on, sprinting will cancel your reload animation, which means your gun won't fully reload if you accidentally sprint mid-reload. For this one, I suggest turning it off. This ensures your reload always completes, even if you mistakenly hit the sprint button. The same logic applies to sprinting interrupts using medical items. If you keep this setting on, sprinting will cancel the use of medkits or healing items. I recommend turning this setting off as well, so your healing process doesn't get interrupted. Next, let's talk about a few more important settings. First, Auto Open Doors, this one's a must. Turn it on so doors will open automatically when you approach them. It saves time and makes movement much smoother, especially when you're rushing through buildings during fights or looting. On the other hand, Auto Jump Over is a setting I recommend turning off. When this is on, your character will automatically jump over obstacles, which might sound convenient, but it can mess up your movement in tight spaces or during precise jumps. Keeping it off gives you more control and helps avoid unnecessary mistakes. Next is the Tap Jump in Jumping Mode to use Zipline setting. My advice? Leave this off unless you have a specific reason to use it. It's not particularly helpful for most players. Lastly, there's the Landing View, third person / first person setting. This one is entirely up to you. If you prefer landing in the third person, like me, turn it on. If you prefer landing directly in the first person, keep it off. It's all about personal preference here, so choose what feels right for your gameplay style. Now let's head over to the Battle Info tab. Pop-up tutorial, if you're new to the game, turn this on. It provides useful tips to help you understand the mechanics. But if you've been playing for a while, you can safely turn this off. You don't need extra pop-ups distracting you during gameplay. Auto mark enemies and items. Turn both of these settings on. They're incredibly useful as they automatically mark enemies and loot on your screen, making it easier to keep track of threats and find items quickly. Hide teammate names and marks. I strongly recommend turning both of these settings off. Hiding teammate marks can lead to confusion and less communication, which is not ideal when playing as a team. Keep them visible to ensure smooth teamwork and coordination. Minimap zoom. Set this to 100%. A fully zoomed-in minimap gives you a clearer view of your immediate surroundings, which is super helpful in spotting nearby enemies or loot. Minimap rotation. Set this to fixed. Keeping the minimap fixed helps you stay oriented with the environment, as the map doesn't rotate with your character. This makes it easier to navigate and track enemy movements. Low reserves warning. Turn this on. This setting warns you when your ammo reserves are running low, which is a lifesaver, especially during intense fights when you might not be paying close attention to your ammo count. Show damage numbers. This one is totally up to you. If you want to see how much damage you're dealing to opponents, turn it on. It's a great way to track your effectiveness in combat. Personally, I keep it on because I like knowing exactly how much damage I'm doing. But if you don't care about seeing the numbers, feel free to leave it off. Hit feedback. You can choose between 2D and 3D. Both work the same, and neither gives you any advantage over the other, so it's all about preference. Personally, I find 2D more clean and less distracting, so I use that. If you like a more immersive feel, go for 3D, it's your call. Hit feedback color. Set this to red. Red is the most visible and easy to spot color, so it's perfect for recognizing when you're getting hit. Hit effects. If you have a really low-end device, turn this off to boost performance. However, if your device can handle it, I recommend keeping it on for the extra visual feedback. Personally, I like having hit effects on because it makes the gameplay more satisfying and immersive. Teammate outline effect. If you struggle to locate your teammates or differentiate them from enemies during chaotic fights, turn this setting on. It highlights teammates, making them easier to spot. For me, I leave it off because I don't have trouble distinguishing between teammates and enemies. But if you're new to the game or prefer the added clarity, keep it on, it's helpful. Now let's move to the item section. Display meds recommendation. Turn this on. When your HP gets low, this setting will recommend using medkits, which is super useful, especially in high-pressure situations when you might forget to heal. Display loadout recommendation. I suggest turning this off. It's not very helpful and can feel a bit distracting. You don't need the game suggesting loadouts when you already know what works best for your playstyle. Consecutive use of meds. This setting allows you to automatically use multiple meds one after another. You can turn it on if you like the convenience, but for me, I prefer controlling my meds manually, so I keep it off. Sometimes, it interrupts my gameplay, and I want full control over when and how I heal. Switch between medical items. I recommend turning this off. It can cause unnecessary confusion when you're trying to heal quickly, as it might switch between items when you don't want it to. Quick throw. I strongly suggest turning this on. It allows you to throw grenades and other throwable items faster, which is super important in a fast-paced game. Some players prefer it off for better precision, but in my opinion, the speed advantage is worth it, especially during intense fights. Close pickup list when hit. If you don't want to be distracted by the loot menu during fights, turn this on. However, in situations where you're unarmed and running for your life, having this setting on could prevent you from grabbing a weapon in time. Personally, I keep it off so I can quickly pick up items when I'm under pressure. But this ultimately depends on your playstyle. Choose what works best for you. Enable share loadout drop. Definitely turn this on. It allows you to share your loadout drops with teammates, which is super helpful in team-based gameplay. Pickup list. Set this to on. It ensures that you always see what items are available to pick up, giving you more control over your loot. Auto pickup. Turn this on. This feature will automatically loot items like weapons, ammo, and other essentials, saving you precious time during the game. It's a must-have for faster looting in a fast-paced environment. Auto pickup interval, set this to short. This ensures that items are looted almost instantly, giving you a speed advantage, especially when racing against others to grab loot. Auto pickup Evo Energy, turn this on. Evo Energy is critical, and having this setting on ensures you won't miss any while looting. It's super convenient and keeps your gameplay smooth. Auto pickup ammo for unequipped weapons, this one depends on your preference. Turn it on if you like having all types of ammo, even for weapons you don't currently have. This can be useful if you plan to switch weapons later. Turn it off if you want to pick up ammo only for your equipped weapons. Personally, I keep it off because picking up unnecessary ammo wastes time in a fast-paced game. It's better to stay efficient and focus on the essentials. Auto pickup preferences, you can check or uncheck items depending on what you want to auto-loot. For example, I personally dislike picking up medkits and smoke grenades, so I've unchecked those. This helps streamline looting, ensuring you only grab necessary items and focus on gameplay. If there are items you rarely use, consider unchecking them to improve your looting efficiency. Combat controls. ADS mode, aim down sights. This one depends on personal preference. Tap ADS, you only need to press the button once to aim down sights. I prefer this because it's convenient and works for me. Hold ADS, this lets you aim only while holding the button, which some players feel is faster. If you like quick aim and release controls, go with this option. Ultimately, pick the one you're most comfortable with. I stick with tap ADS, but if you're more into fast-paced precision, hold ADS might suit you better. Skill keybinds, turn this on. This will display skill keybinds on your screen, making it easier to keep track of your abilities during gameplay. Auto open parachute, turn this on. It automatically deploys your parachute when close to the ground, saving you from fall damage. It's a small but crucial setting that can prevent accidental deaths. Reload interrupt ADS, turn this on. When reloading, this setting automatically closes ADS, aim down sights. This is especially helpful for maintaining your movement and awareness during a fight. No one wants to be stuck in ADS when they're trying to reload quickly and dodge enemies. Controls tab. Keybinds customization. Here, you can fully customize your keybinds. Take your time to adjust them according to your playstyle. Try moving things around and see what feels most comfortable and intuitive for you. It's all about personal preference. There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to keybinds. Controller tab. Unless you're using a controller, you can skip this section. These settings are entirely useless for mouse and keyboard players, so no need to waste your time here. Sensitivity tab. Now let's talk about sensitivity settings. These can make or break your aim and movement, so choose wisely. Sensitivity. Set this to switch on ADS sensitivity. This ensures smooth transitions between different aiming modes, making your aim more consistent. Sensitivity acceleration mode. Change this to fixed speed. This eliminates any acceleration while aiming, providing steady and predictable movement for better control. It's a game changer for precise aiming, especially for FPS games. Advanced settings. Turn off advanced settings in both camera sensitivity and firing sensitivity. Keeping these off simplifies the sensitivity adjustments, ensuring you don't have to micromanage too many options. It's better to stick with the basics unless you're a pro at fine-tuning these settings. For PC players, I wouldn't recommend using the lowest sensitivity in this game. Yes, low sensitivity can help with accuracy, but in a fast-paced game like this, there's a lot of movement to track. You'll need a higher sensitivity to keep up with the crazy movements of other players. Trust me, it's all about balance. Getting used to a higher sensitivity can make it much easier to track those quick, unpredictable movements. For me, I've set my mouse DPI to 1200 and my in-game sensitivity to 36, and it works perfectly. Here's my advice. Whatever sensitivity you choose, make sure it's consistent across all settings. For example, if you set your sensitivity to 36 for no ADS steering, make sure you set all the other sensitivity options to 36 as well. This consistency helps you develop muscle memory, which is key to hitting those shots consistently. Also, a couple of quick tips: disable mouse acceleration for better precision and consider using a lower DPI for a smoother experience. Lastly, investing in a budget gaming mouse can seriously improve your gameplay. There are some really affordable options out there that still offer great performance. Trust me, it's worth it. Now, let's talk about graphics and audio settings. For competitive play, I highly recommend setting your graphics to the absolute lowest. This may not give you the prettiest visuals, but it will give you the best performance. Even if your monitor doesn't support 240 Hz, try to set the FPS to 240. You won't actually see 240 FPS on a 60 Hz monitor, but it will make the game feel a lot smoother. The frame time will be much more consistent, and that makes a big difference, especially in fast-paced games like this. I've seen a lot of players capping their FPS to 60 because their monitor only supports 60 Hz, and they say it's fine. While it's true that their monitor can't display more than 60 FPS, locking it at 60 will result in clunky, stuttery gameplay. It's just not smooth enough for competitive gaming, especially in a game like this that isn't optimized well for PC. The developers don't seem to care too much about PC players, so setting your FPS to Ultra is the best way to go if you want that smooth, responsive gameplay. For resolution, I wouldn't recommend going below standard. Anything lower just makes the game so pixelated that it's tough to spot enemies. Even if you have a low-end PC, don't lower the resolution to anything below standard. It will only hurt your gameplay. If your PC is decent enough, you can set the resolution to Ultra, which will give you a much clearer view of your surroundings and make it way easier to locate enemies. For display mode, always set it to full screen. This ensures that your GPU prioritizes the game over other background applications, giving you better performance. Now, for graphics quality, set it to low for the best competitive experience. I have mine set to high right now, but that's just because I'm not playing seriously at the moment. If you have a high-end PC, feel free to bump the graphics to high, but if you're looking for smooth, competitive gameplay, low settings are the way to go. Also, turn off vertical sync and anti-aliasing. I've got anti-aliasing turned on right now, but if I'm playing in a tough ranked lobby, I'd definitely turn it off to ensure smoother performance. For your FOV, field of view, I recommend setting it between 80 and 120. Anything below 80 will limit your view, making it harder to spot enemies around you. On the other hand, 120 FOV gives you a wider view range, but it can also come with some downsides like stretched or distorted visuals. So, it's all about what feels comfortable to you. Personally, I've been playing with 100 FOV for a long time, and it feels just right for me. For the field of view settings, make sure to set it to independent for better control. For visuals, set the filter to vivid. This gives you great visuals without compromising too much on performance, making it perfect for competitive gameplay. And, to squeeze out more performance, turn off detailed animation. This will give you a smoother experience, especially in intense fights, without losing too much in terms of gameplay quality. Now, let's head over to the audio tab. Here, you can keep whatever settings you prefer, but personally, I can't stand the in-game music, so I've turned it off. Below that, you can also customize the voice chat settings. I set mine to squad so I can hear my squad's voice clearly. You also have the option to turn voice chat on or off. I keep it on so I can communicate with my teammates, which is crucial for coordination. You can adjust the volume of the voice chat as well. If it's too loud, just turn it down. If it's too quiet, crank it up. There's also the option to set the chat to be free or assign a button for it. If you pick the button option, you'll need to assign a key, but for me, I prefer the chat to be free, so I leave it on that setting. And with that, we've gone through all the settings. Now, let's move on to the mobile settings and see how we can optimize them. Let's head over to the settings and talk about the left fire button. Whether or not you enable the left fire button is entirely up to you and your playstyle. For me, I like having the left fire button enabled because it allows me to shoot while maintaining better movement control. If you prefer, you can set it to on while ADS, which means the left fire button will only appear when you're aiming down sights, ADS. This can help declutter your screen if you feel like too many buttons are getting in the way. Now, for the right fire button, you have three options: hip fire, fire on ADS, and fire after ADS. I recommend leaving it on hip fire, especially for faster-paced gameplay, because it allows you to shoot instantly without needing to ADS. It's great for close-range fights where speed is everything. Let me explain each option so you can choose what works best for you. Hip fire. When you tap the right fire button, your weapon fires without ADS. Fire on ADS. With this setting, pressing the right fire button will automatically aim down sights and start shooting at the same time. Fire after ADS. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend this option. When you press the right fire button, it first brings up the ADS and then starts shooting after a slight delay. This delay can be frustrating and might cost you a fight, especially in fast-paced combat. It's not the best option for competitive gameplay. For ADS mode, you can choose between tap or hold, depending on your preference. I personally use the tap option because it's easier for me, I'm used to it, and it feels more natural to quickly tap to aim. However, if you prefer holding the button to aim, that's also a solid choice. It gives you more control over when you ADS, but it requires practice to get comfortable with it. Auto fire. First, turn auto fire off. While it might sound helpful, it takes away control and can cause unnecessary shots, giving away your position in critical moments. You want to be in full control of when and where you shoot. Button transparency. Next, set the button transparency to on for a clearer view of your screen. However, if you have a low-end device, turning this off might help improve performance and reduce lag. For those with decent devices, keeping it on ensures better visibility without compromising clarity. Quick airdrop. Enable quick airdrop. This is a game changer. Instead of navigating through menus to call in an airdrop, you can simply click the pop-up to quickly claim it. It saves time and keeps you focused on the action. Advanced tab. In the Advanced tab, you can adjust more settings for better customization. Right fire button. Just like we discussed earlier, you can select the right fire button mode. If you prefer hip fire, set it to that for quick, close-range engagements. If you like more precision in medium to long-range fights, you can opt for fire on ADS. For me, I keep it on hip fire because it's faster for aggressive gameplay, but feel free to choose what fits your style. Left fire button. We've already talked about this. Enable it or set it to on while ADS if you prefer a clutter-free screen but still want better shooting flexibility during ADS. Auto open parachute. Enable auto open parachute. This is non-negotiable. It prevents accidental fall damage if you jump or fall from a high place. Forgetting to enable this can result in embarrassing and unnecessary eliminations, so make sure it's on. Weapon custom fire. This is one of the most powerful customization options in the game. With Weapon Custom Fire, you can set different firing modes for both the left and right fire buttons for each weapon type. For example, set fire on ADS for snipers. It makes aiming and shooting with precision much easier. Keep hip fire for SMGs and shotguns to stay quick and efficient during close combat. Adjust assault rifles to your preference based on how you play. Take advantage of this setting to fine-tune your controls for every weapon, ensuring you're always in the best position to perform. Aim assist. Finally, set aim assist to beginner. This helps you track enemies better, especially when there's a lot of movement. It's a helpful feature that boosts your accuracy without doing all the work for you, striking a nice balance between assistance and skill. ADS rotates the camera. Turn off ADS rotates the camera to prevent unnecessary screen movement while aiming down sights, ADS. This keeps your screen fixed and stable during ADS, resulting in smoother aiming and tracking of enemies. It also helps avoid disorienting movements when you're focusing on a target. Reload Interrupt ADS. Enable Reload Interrupt ADS so that your ADS automatically turns off when you reload. This feature is crucial in fast-paced situations where staying in ADS while reloading can slow down your movement and awareness. Shotgun Firing Mode. Set shotgun firing mode to single shot for better control and accuracy. This ensures that every shot counts when using shotguns, especially during close-range fights, where precision matters the most. Gameplay and Movement tab. Now let's head to the Gameplay and Movement tab for movement and quality of life optimizations. Joystick Auto Run on. Enable Joystick Auto Run to make running easier. Instead of holding down your joystick, you can activate Auto Run for smooth and continuous movement, reducing strain during long matches. Auto Sprint on. Turn Auto Sprint on so you can focus more on gameplay and less on manually sprinting. It keeps your pace quick and consistent, which is essential in high-pressure situations. Crouch Mode, hold. Set Crouch Mode to hold instead of toggle. This prevents crouching from interrupting your movement when sliding, jumping, or running. It's especially useful in close quarters combat where you need to crouch dynamically without locking yourself into the position. Sprinting interrupts crouching, on. Turn Sprinting interrupts crouching to on so you don't get stuck in a crouch position while trying to sprint. This setting helps you maintain fluid movement during intense gameplay. Sprinting interrupts inspection, on. Enable Sprinting Interrupts Inspection so that you can immediately sprint without being slowed down by weapon inspection animations. It's a small tweak but ensures faster reaction times in combat. Sprinting interrupts reloading and using medical items, off. Set Sprinting interrupts reloading and using medical items to off so that you don't accidentally cancel these actions while moving. This ensures you can reload or heal completely, even if you're sprinting. Auto Open Doors, on. Enable Auto Open Doors for convenience. This feature automatically opens doors as you approach them, saving you time and allowing you to focus on gameplay rather than manual interactions. Auto Jump Over, off. Turn Auto Jump Over off. This prevents unintended jumps over obstacles, especially in tight spaces, where jumping could disrupt your movement or put you in danger. By turning it off, you maintain full control over when and where you jump. Use Zipline, on. Enable Use Zipline so that you can quickly activate ziplines by jumping. It's a handy setting for fast traversal across the map without needing additional controls. Third person while landing. If you prefer switching to a third-person view while landing, turn this option on. It provides a better perspective of the area, helping you locate loot and spot nearby enemies as you land. If you don't need this feature, you can leave it off, but I personally like it for the wider field of view during the early game. Battle Info tab. Pop-up tutorial. Set this to off if you're experienced and already familiar with the game mechanics, as the pop-ups can be distracting. If you're new to the game, turn this on to get helpful guidance during your matches. Auto Mark Enemies and Auto Mark Items. Turn Auto Mark Enemies and Auto Mark Items to on for enhanced communication and awareness. These settings help you quickly spot and alert teammates about enemy locations or useful loot without wasting time manually marking them. Hide teammates' names and marks. Keep hide teammates' names and hide teammates' marks off so you can always see your teammates' names and their marks on the map. This prevents confusion and allows for better coordination during matches. Minimap size. Set the minimap size to 100 for maximum visibility of the map. A larger minimap helps you track enemy movements, teammates, and other important information more easily. Minimap rotation. Set the minimap rotation to fixed. A fixed minimap helps you stay oriented on the map, as the top of the map will always represent the north, reducing disorientation during fast-paced gameplay. Low reserves. Turn low reserves to on so you're notified when you're running low on ammo or supplies. This ensures you stay prepared and don't run out of essential resources during critical moments. Show damage numbers. Enable show damage numbers to track how much damage you've dealt to enemies. This feature helps you gauge whether an enemy is close to being knocked out or if you need to adjust your strategy. Hit feedback, 2D or 3D. Choose 2D or 3D based on your preference. Both options perform the same function with no competitive advantage, but I recommend 2D for its simplicity and clean visuals. Hit feedback color. Set the hit feedback color to red for clear visibility. Red is universally associated with damage and helps you immediately identify successful hits on enemies. Show hit effects. If you have a high-performance device, turn Show Hit Effects on to enjoy visual effects that enhance your gameplay experience. If your device struggles with performance, turn this setting off to improve game smoothness. Item tab. Display meds recommendation. Set display meds recommendation to on so the game automatically suggests the most effective healing item based on your current health. This saves you time and makes healing more efficient during intense fights. Display loadout recommendation. Turn display loadout recommendation off because it's unnecessary clutter, and most players prefer customizing their loadouts manually to suit their playstyle. Consecutive use of meds. Set consecutive use of meds to off to avoid automatically using multiple healing items when it's not needed. This prevents waste and allows for more precise healing. Switch between medical items. Turn switch between medical items off to avoid accidentally switching between healing items during critical moments. This ensures you use the correct item without interruptions. Quick throw. Enable quick throw to make it faster and easier to throw grenades or other throwable items. This feature saves you from unnecessary delays in combat, letting you quickly react to situations like clearing rooms or blocking enemy advances. Pickup section. Close pickup list when hit. Set this to off. If you leave this option on, the pickup list will disappear every time you take damage, making it harder to manage loot during fights. Turning it off ensures the list stays visible, letting you pick up items quickly, even under pressure. Enable share loadout drop. Turn this on. This feature lets you share your loadout drop with teammates, ensuring better teamwork. It's especially useful when a teammate needs specific equipment, and you can provide it directly from your loadout drop. Auto pickup. Set auto pickup to on. This ensures you pick up loot automatically without wasting time manually grabbing every item. It's a game changer in fast-paced situations where every second counts. Auto pickup interval. Set this to short. A shorter interval speeds up the auto pickup process, helping you gather loot faster and return to the fight without delays. Auto pickup Evo Energy. Turn this on. This setting ensures you automatically collect Evo Energy, which is crucial for upgrading specific items or abilities during the match. Missing these can put you at a disadvantage, so keep it enabled. Auto pickup ammo for unequipped weapons. Set this to off. There's no point in picking up ammo for weapons you're not using, as it clutters your inventory and wastes valuable space. Focus on ammo for your equipped weapons instead. Customizing meds and grenades. Here, you can decide which healing items and grenades to auto pick up. Uncheck the items you don't want to collect automatically and keep only the ones you frequently use. This helps streamline your inventory management. For example, if you rely on smoke grenades but don't use flashbangs, you can uncheck flashbangs to avoid unnecessary pickups. Control tab. HUD customization. This is entirely up to you. Everyone has their own playstyle and comfort level when it comes to HUD, heads-up display, settings. Some players prefer a 2-finger setup, while others might use 3 or 4 fingers for better control. Customize this according to your playstyle, finger count, and preference. Additional settings at the bottom. At the end of this tab, you'll find 2 additional settings. Make sure to turn them on for optimal functionality, but these are personal preferences and won't drastically affect gameplay. Controller section. We'll skip this section since we're not using a controller. These settings are only useful if you're playing with a controller, so there's no need to adjust anything here. Sensitivity tab. Sensitivity switching. Set this to switch on ADS. This allows your sensitivity settings to adapt based on whether you're aiming down sights, ADS, or hip firing. It offers greater control in various situations, ensuring a smoother and more accurate aim. Sensitivity acceleration mode. Set this to fixed speed. Fixed speed provides consistent movement and aiming regardless of how quickly you move your finger or aim. This is ideal for maintaining muscle memory and ensuring a steady aim during high-pressure situations. Sensitivity settings. Why high sensitivity matters. I strongly recommend using high sensitivity, especially for mobile players. Why? On mobile, the screen space is limited, so high sensitivity helps you aim faster and more efficiently without requiring wide swipes. It's a game changer, especially in intense close-range battles where quick reflexes matter the most. Stick to one sensitivity. The most important rule is to stick to one sensitivity setting and master it. I've seen so many players who keep tweaking their sensitivity after every match, thinking that's the problem. Spoiler alert, it's not. The real issue is consistency. Switching settings too often will ruin your muscle memory and make you less accurate. Find a sensitivity that feels comfortable and practice with it until it becomes second nature. Don't copy my sensitivity. You might be tempted to copy someone else's settings, maybe even mine, but don't. Sensitivity is highly personal. What works for me may not work for you because everyone's playstyle is different. The best sensitivity is the one you're comfortable with and can stick to. Advanced settings. Turn off advanced settings for both camera sensitivity and firing sensitivity. These settings often overcomplicate things and don't provide any real advantage. Simpler settings equal smoother gameplay. Gyroscope settings. Why use a gyroscope? Now let's talk about the gyroscope, a feature that many mobile players overlook. If you've never used it before, I know it sounds intimidating, but trust me, it's worth it. Once you get used to it, your aim will become much smoother and more accurate, especially for mid to long-range fights. Even pros swear by it because it gives you the ability to fine-tune your aim with subtle movements of your device. Set the gyroscope to always on. Make sure to set the gyroscope to always on. This ensures that it works at all times, whether you're aiming down sights, ADS, or hip firing. It takes a little practice, but the improvement in your accuracy will be noticeable once you get the hang of it. Calibrate your gyroscope. To ensure your gyroscope works smoothly, head to the calibration setting. Place your phone on a flat surface and leave it for a few seconds. This simple step will reset your gyro's baseline and eliminate any drift issues, giving you a much smoother aiming experience. Adjust gyro sensitivity. You can also customize the gyro sensitivity here. Start by testing the default settings in a few matches. If the aim feels too slow, gradually increase the sensitivity. If it's too fast or shaky, lower it until it feels comfortable. Remember, this depends entirely on your personal playstyle and comfort level. Why you should try gyroscope even if you're new. I know, trying the gyroscope for the first time can feel awkward. You might miss your shots or feel like it's impossible to control. But no one becomes a master on their first try. Stick with it, practice regularly, and you will notice a significant improvement in your aim over time. Gyroscope isn't just a setting, it's a skill. Once you master it, you'll have a huge advantage in precision aiming, especially for tracking moving enemies and quick headshots. So, give it a shot. With the right sensitivity settings and a calibrated gyro, you'll be landing those perfect shots in no time. Graphics and audio settings. FPS settings. Set your FPS, frames per second, to extreme for the best performance and smooth gameplay. A higher FPS means your game will feel more responsive and you'll have a competitive edge in fast-paced battles. However, if your device tends to overheat or you experience throttling, you can lower it to 60 FPS. Anything below 60 FPS is not recommended, as it will feel choppy and make your gameplay experience frustrating. Resolution settings. Set your resolution to high for better visuals. This helps you spot enemies more easily, especially at a distance, and enhances the overall look of the game. But if you're playing on a low-end device, stick to standard resolution to avoid performance drops. Anything below standard makes the game look blurry and almost unplayable. Graphics quality. Set your graphics quality to low, even if you have a high-end device. Why? Low graphics settings prioritize performance over visuals, ensuring you get smoother gameplay and fewer frame drops during intense fights. In competitive games, performance is always more important than shiny graphics. Field of view, FOV. What is FOV? Your FOV, field of view, determines how much of the game world you can see on your screen. A higher FOV gives you a wider view, making it easier to spot enemies on your sides. On the flip side, a lower FOV narrows your vision, which can make you feel more zoomed in but limits your awareness. Recommended FOV settings. Set your FOV between 80 and 120. 80 FOV offers a more focused view but limits your ability to see enemies coming from your sides. 120 FOV provides a super wide view range but may stretch or distort the visuals slightly, making it feel unnatural to some players. 100 FOV. Personally, I've been using 100 FOV for a long time, and it strikes the perfect balance. It's wide enough to give you great situational awareness without causing too much visual distortion. Field of view settings. For your field of view, FOV, make sure to set it to independent for better control and smoother aiming across different scenarios. This ensures that your FOV remains consistent, whether you're aiming down sights, ADS, or hipfiring. Display weapon customization. Set display weapon customization to all. Why wouldn't you want to show off those awesome skins you've purchased? Even if they were free, it's always satisfying to see your weapon looking unique and stylish during gameplay. Detailed animation. To squeeze out more performance, turn off detailed animation. This setting removes unnecessary visual effects that don't impact gameplay, such as overly detailed reloads or environmental movements. Turning this off will ensure smoother performance, especially during intense fights, while still keeping the core visuals intact. So that's it, guys. We've gone through every single setting for both mobile and PC to help you achieve the best performance and gameplay experience. If you found this video helpful or enjoyed the hard work I've put into breaking everything down for you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more awesome content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and goodbye.